Hello, my name is Jasmine Cotton, and I'm going to be speaking about the anti oppressive practice today. So, what is the anti oppressive practice? The anti oppressive practice is an interdisciplinary approach primarily rooted within the practice of social work that focuses on ending socioeconomic oppression. It requires the practitioner to critically examine the power imbalance inherent in an organizational structure with regards to the larger sociocultural and political context in order to develop strategies for creating an egalitarian environment free from oppression, racism, and other forms of discrimination in the larger society by engaging at the legal and political level. In general, community practice, it is about responding to oppression by dominant groups and individuals. In social services, it regulates any possible oppressive practices and helps in delivering welfare service in an inclusive manner. Dominelli defines it in challenging established truths about identity. Anti-oppressive practice seeks to subvert the stability of universalized biological representations of social division to both validate diversity and enhance solidarity based on celebrating difference amongst peoples. So she's saying we have to validate the diversity that we have and enhance it through the solidarity approach and celebrate the differences that we have amongst one another. Baines argued that anti-oppressive practice attempts to integrate the search and struggle for social change directly into the social work experience. So bringing the anti-oppressive practice into the social work experience can be a struggle. Um, some people do not like change, but I think social change is definitely needed in this field. Anti-oppressive practice seeks to lessen the exclusion of certain social groups from social equality, rights, and social justice. Social work generally is known to be a caring profession, but sometimes services, if worked for one person, do not necessarily work for another or reflect the sensitivity required to work for another. Related to this, there may be a care versus control issue because where there is care, there is responsibility, and therefore control and power, which can lead to exclusion. Knowingly and deliberately causing discrimination to another constitutes an oppressive practice. The behavior also matters as much as intent. The onus of the social worker is to show exercise due diligence according to generally accepted practices and conduct him or herself in a generally accepted by society, which constitutes as neutral ordinary humanity. By implementing the AOP, we must speak up and speak out regarding inequality when we see it. The anti-oppressive theory, anti-oppressive theory fits in with the solidarity approach of modeling equality by working together to ensure that this is effective and having a team with the same point of view and you all working together to get this done because one person can't do it alone. And also, we have to continue promoting justice. Anti-oppressive social work advances social justice by challenging the traditional power relations and structures, as well as mainstream social service practices. The traditional approach social work sees the source of social problems in an individual pathology, operates within the oppressive system without trying to change it, or does not welcome a critical perspective. The AOP approach opposes this conventional model of social work practice by refusing to individualize social problems and linking personal to the political instead. In social work, the anti-oppressive model aims to function and promote equal, non-oppressive social relations between various identities. It remains dedicated to principles of social justice, which is also upheld in NASW values. By acknowledging diversity within oppression and considering the intersection and hierarchies of the isms that construct people as victims or perpetrators. The anti-oppressive model analyzes and advocates against macro and micro levels of oppression and emphasizes on social justice and social change along more empowering and emancipatory lines. How does this impact the helper? As a social worker, your mental health can be affected. You're hearing about these different things that your client is going through, and it could be it can be tough on you. You know, it could affect your mental peace. It could definitely be a moral dilemma because you want to help your client as best as you can and assist them with their needs, but on one hand, you have to follow the policies and procedures and stay within guidelines. So it's like your job or trying to help someone. And sometimes you can accidentally come off as an oppressor. You don't want to offend your client. As social workers, our job is to see how can we assist the client and ultimately come to a common ground that's suitable for everyone. According to my research, the main elements of AOP are inclusiveness, advocacy, genuine engagement with the client, and attention to the client's individual circumstances. The participants emphasize clients' agency over their lives, which is consistent with Domnelli's view on AOP as a perspective that gives voice and power to the client. As mentioned, that they pay attention to the client's needs and redistribute resources available to suit each client's situation. Some consider affirmative action to be a part of the AOP. An example, the George Floyd protests that have been ongoing that began in Minneapolis. Throughout the U.S., people have been protesting everywhere to for equality. Whether you're brown, white, whether you're black, white, purple, orange, whether you're female, male, whether you're transgender, heterosexual, it doesn't matter. We should all be treated equally. We should all feel like we are the CEO. We shouldn't feel like or be belittled like we're a janitor or just because we're a janitor or that we're less than. We should all be treated as equal. And I thank you for listening.